Hello and welcome to LIS 673 Management for Information Professionals. Although some students come to the course expecting it will be about managing digital information, this is a course in management practices, including leadership and project and program management. This lecture will present a brief overview of the course. I'll go over how the course will be structured, what you'll need, and how the course will be organized. First, let me say that I'm looking forward to guiding you through the material and helping to give you a good background in management. I've always really enjoyed working with technology, but the challenge of managing an organization, project, or program is daunting even for someone with a great deal of technical expertise. Before returning to academia many years ago, I was Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, and then Director of Operations and Director of IT for a successful nonprofit educational technology company. We partnered with companies like Intel, Microsoft, and Dell on programs with state departments of education and the Federal Department of Education. I oversaw a human resources department that managed up to 30 employees, and I hope from time to time I can bring some of my own experiences to bear on topics we'll explore. We'll take it step by step with clear instructions and plenty of support. If you keep up and ask questions, there isn't any reason all of you shouldn't do well in the course. So let's begin. First, let's get some details out of the way. The first thing you should all do is read the syllabus carefully. The syllabus is a formal agreement between the instructor and students. You are responsible for everything on it, including the university, college, and course policies, and understanding the grading components. The syllabus is a binding agreement subject to change only in certain limited ways. The syllabus contains tentative schedules and topics that may change during the semester depending on how the class goes, so be aware of that. But policies and grading are firm once the course starts. The course is an online course conducted in the Desire to Learn course management system. Be sure you know how to get around in D2L by the time the course starts. The syllabus also contains contact information for the university's 24-hour technical support help desk. The syllabus lists several objectives for the course that you should read, but let me give you an overview. First, while some of you come into the course thinking it will be about management digital information, we have other courses for that. This is not a course about managing information, rather it's a course about managing information organizations, programs, projects, and people. While not all of you will necessarily aspire to reach the level of a senior manager or administrator, you will almost certainly work in teams on programs and projects that will integrate with, be affected by, and in turn will affect the strategic goals, plans, and objectives of your organization. To be an effective team member or leader, or to be a good temporary leader on a small project, you should have a good idea about and grounding in how organizations work generally, and in particular how organizations change or how they resist change. Then we also need to focus on the specifics of management, concentrating where appropriate on information organizations and the impact the rapid onslaught of digital information has had on our information institutions such as galleries, libraries, archives, and museums. Where appropriate, we will also be looking beyond the academic to the corporate information world, and we'll also take a look at some practical hands-on tools that management teams use to plan and evaluate organization performance. I'm requiring a primary textbook, Reframing Organizations, Artistry, Choice, and Leadership. Check the syllabus or course site for the required edition. It's available to read as a free e-text online through the U of A library, or you can purchase it as an ebook, hardback, or paperback. You'll also need Microsoft Office for some of the hands-on exercise. A free license is available to U of A students, or you can use library computers if you don't want to or can't install it on your own computer. For example, if you're running a Linux desktop. Or for Linux, LibreOffice will probably also be fine. Now let's talk about how the course will lay out as the semester progresses. First, there's a calendar and schedule for the course in the Course Documents folder of D2L content. You should look at it and transfer any deadlines to your own calendar if you keep one. There are 15 modules, so in a fall or spring semester, each week a module will open in content, and at the very least there will be a written module plan that includes links to one or more video lectures and required readings for most weeks. We'll work in pace as a class. Although you can read ahead in the textbook if you like, the module plans and lectures won't open early in order to keep us all together. The module plan will outline the objectives for the unit, list in detail the readings for the unit, provide links to video lectures or other videos and readings, provide a list of the discussion questions, and outline the specific list of assignments you are to complete. Discussion is due for every module. Assignments, discussion, and quizzes are due according to the schedule. All quizzes are taken in the D2L quiz engine. All assignments are to be uploaded to the D2L assignments Dropbox. All discussion takes place in the D2L discussion section. In a spring or fall offering, you have a little over a week to complete each unit with overlap. In the summer, the 15 units are covered in approximately 10 weeks, so pay attention to the schedule of due dates. You should expect to spend 8 to 10 hours per unit, or 135 to 150 hours for the course. So in a regular term, that works out to around 8 to 10 hours per week, and in summer, around 15 hours per week. Grading is covered in the syllabus. I'll just talk about it briefly here. There are 4 grade components. The first grade component is discussion, comprising 20% of your grade, then quizzes at 15%, and assignments at 30%. There will be a final group project at 35%. The scale is the usual. 90 to 100 is A, 80 to 89 is B, and so on. The course is not graded on a curve. Details of the project will be announced and posted in Start Here course documents. Once the course gets underway, details of the other components will also follow. Each module's assignments include exercises you need to complete as specified in the module plans. For full credit, be sure to read and follow the instructions in the module plan carefully for the assignment submission. For some units, there may be more than one individual assignment. Don't combine them into one document unless instructed to do so. In the second half of the course, you'll be divided into small groups for your final group project. Group submissions require only one submission per group, so be careful to pay attention to whether you are to submit an individual assignment to an individual Dropbox for a grade, or a group submission to a group Dropbox for project feedback. A portion of the course grade, 20%, will be based on class discussion. The class may be divided into smaller groups for discussion depending on class size to keep it interactive and fresh. Discussion questions based on lectures and readings will be included in the module plan. For each module, a different student will act as a discussion leader to keep the discussion moving and to organize questions about the text. A link to a sign-up sheet will be provided, I think, in Module 2. There's a separate Ask the Instructor discussion section to ask technical questions or seek help or clarification with assignments or discussion. However, please do not post quiz questions or answers. Technical questions and questions about the material in the videos, readings, or text should be asked in this section and not in email. Students may also help each other in this discussion section, but of course all work submitted for individual grade must be your own individual work. The Ask the Instructor discussion area is your primary area for interaction with me, the instructor. Don't hesitate to ask questions, clarifications, or seek additional feedback. Only use email if your question is related to a personal matter, such as a grading issue, or if you have a question about a quiz question. You must post at least 2 substantive top posts and 2 substantive replies for full discussion credit, although more are encouraged and will add to your understanding of the course and topics. You should post your first top post well before the deadline to give others time to respond. If I see the class or a section waiting till the last minute to post, I reserve the option to set an earlier deadline for the top posts. You're also responsible for reading all of the posts in your discussion section, and this is actually tracked by D2L. I don't grade individual posts, but I will keep track of and occasionally participate in discussion, and I'll let you know individually if your posts are not meeting standards. Posts must, of course, be civil and respectful, so bullying or impolite argumentation may result in loss of credit, and repeated violations can lead to other sanctions. See the syllabus for further information. There will be periodic quizzes covering concepts and terminology, mostly from the text. These are usually short, usually between 15 and 25 multiple choice, multiple select, and true-false questions. You'll be graded on the best of up to 3 attempts, and the grading scheme is adjusted to 90 to 100% equals A, 80 to 89% equals B, and so on. The quizzes are on the honor system. They're open book, and you can look up to find the answers to the quiz questions. The purpose is to just get you familiar and make sure you're familiar with the text and the topics. Refer to the student code of academic integrity and the syllabus as far as your participation with the quizzes, and just use them as a learning tool. They're meant to reinforce terms and basic concepts. They should be straightforward. Some students find them not so straightforward, but do the best you can with them. They're a relatively small percentage of your grade. The last quiz is really kind of a mini final. It's drawn from the entire quiz pool, but it counts the same as the other quizzes. All of the quizzes are collectively calculated as part of the total quiz score for your final grade. There's no grace period for quizzes, and missed quizzes cannot be made up. The late policy, by the way, is posted in the syllabus. I won't repeat it here. You can look at the slide, but you should read it here or in the syllabus. It is firm. Of course, legitimate excuses. You can read the university policy on that. Generally, if for sickness, don't mail me your doctor's notes. There are HIPAA policies and things like that. But there is a process. If you have to miss more than a week due to illness or something, there's a process to contact the dean of students with your medical issues, and then they let the faculty know what the story is. So there are, of course, exceptions for legitimate documented illnesses and so on. So that should get you started. The course will open in D2L by the first day of class. The first unit will open and begin with some readings, a self-assessment for the text that has to do with leadership styles, and some discussion including an introduction. You'll need the textbook by the start of the second unit, unless you plan to read it online, and it is free to read it online if you want to handle it that way. Try it and see if that's going to work for you. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to working with all of you in the coming semester.